Okay, we are live, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Music Maniacs with myself and the mighty YR. It's just us two for the time being. We're still waiting for Paul 3 to join in on the call as well. And for this episode, we're going to be talking about all the latest happenings within the rock and roll news circuit. There's been a lot of news developments coming up for the past couple of weeks. I know it's been a lot. I mean, a whole lot's been coming up. Like for instance, the Foreigner tribute band, who calls itself Foreigner, did a show, I guess, in what was it? Some benefit show, I believe. American Idol, I guess it was American Idol. They made a guest appearance there. Why are you there, dude? And a wire is muted once again, which bums me. I don't know why he does this. Well, either way, we're still waiting on Paul 3 to join on the call. For the time being, it's just me and YR, as I mentioned. So, how's everybody doing on this Thursday night? Just me chilling out, having a good time. I was out earlier taking care of a couple tasks here and there for the household and such. Plus, yesterday,
Free
there you are.
Palestine.
What's up? There you are.
Free Palestine. What do you think about
Oh
that,
gosh.
brother?
No, please. That's that.
there's a lot of like you'll see on Tom Morello or artists of that nature. They're
Yeah,
for
of course. Yeah,
for all
exactly.
that and everything. And look, you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, man, uh, I feel for all the sides.
It was kind of funny you mentioned as because I know so many people on social media, mostly the young
To be
people,
honest
have
with
been
you, man,
saying free
all the
Palestine here
sides,
and there,
man.
here and there. And just like,
News, Dr. Brown. This is, Dr. Brown.
what's up? Your voice is cutting out, dude. Well, everything's been going good over here. Um, is your voice muted again, dude?
Dr. Brown, you're
Good.
going in and out on your.
I don't know why it's doing that. No, I do wish I knew. Are you able to hear me now?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? So what's going on the TV there?
Hello?
Can you hear me? I'm talking right now. What the hell? For some reason,
Dr. Dr. Yacht Rock. Can you hear me?
I know for some reason my voice is not coming in clear.
Well, bring.
Can you hear me
Yo, I
now?
can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
there
like
we go.
going in. You go out and then I can't hear you, but you're talking, and then you come back in.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know if
why
it
it's
was
in
connecting
fact it's
to.
not indicated on the computer screen that I'm talking or anything because
It
usually
gets
when what's up?
it usually gets fixed around when it starts or whatever. But you put up the picture you Brown with the white suit. Are you getting out of the goth thing and getting into
No,
more
I'm
like
not.
a?
I just saw, you know what?
That's why I've been calling you a Doctor Yacht Rock, but
I
it's
know
not like
because
a bad thing. It's
actually, you
pretty
know what?
cool. You're smooth on that.
I
Looks
know.
good.
You know what? You remember the show Miami Vice from the 1980s? Don
Yes.
Johnson. Yeah, that's what came to
I
my
don't know
mind. I
why I
saw
say
the
Yacht
blazer.
Rock.
I saw the pants. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's
You
do
could
this.
wear that. You could wear that at the beach. You could wear that, on a yacht, on a boat.
I figure I
Like
just
that is a
do
good
this
look.
sort of. It is exactly. I figure you know what? Let's take a chance. Let's cosplay Sonny Crockett
Well,
for a
look, I
while
do have
there.
to say, when you're not in your goth look, the yacht rock. When you're in colors, you do look older. But when you're in your goth style, it looks like you're
Younger.
40 years old, or I don't know, 30 years old, 25.
I cannot tell
That's
you how many times people have presumed that I was a lot more younger. Like, I think I mentioned this scenario before. In downtown Ybor one Saturday night, black couple was asking me, excuse me, how old are you? And I was 57 at the time. And when I told them my age, they were like, you are a vampire. I'm like, excuse me, I'm more like a Time Lord. But I wasn't worried about it. And then he was asking me how I'm able to look so young at my age and such. In fact, Dave Rose, he often calls me Time Lord, as in Doctor Who, because he says that the age I'm in, there's no gray hair, it's such and such and such. But to be honest, there are some gray hairs coming in here and there. But people are still saying you look just like your dad, you still look young. It's not fair that we get wrinkles on our face and such, and you don't have any. Well, it's because
gotta
I'm
put
not
some
really.
lotion on. Put your lotion on your skin, brother. Let's get into this news. There's a lot.
Well, I don't use. The only thing I don't use lotion. Be honest, man.
Guys,
Okay,
I don't
so
know
what do we
why
got? So
everyone's
what do we got?
watching. Why is Paul? Why is Paul three? Bro, he's like, oh, hold on.
What's going on?
No one. I'm telling you, nobody right now. Um, Wednesday nights, Monday
Mm-hmm.
nights, but especially Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
is watching fucking wrestling because the playoffs is on. NHL, NBA, Western Conference Final third. I mean, really deep into the playoffs right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like four teams is basically left in both sports, in hockey and basketball right now.
Mm-hmm.
Four teams are playing each other, so it's really down. But I can't believe anyone's watching fucking wrestling right now. Is not only does it suck, it's worse than it has been in like a long time, man. Honestly, like I think it's worse right now than it's definitely the worst time now in the Triple H era. Ever
Mm-hmm.
since Vince left, I'll say that. But like, it's getting to the point. I mean, bro, they're doing two women's matches, one
Mm-hmm.
after another. You know how I am about the women's division. It's really not that great, but
Yeah.
Paul Three's like glazing and coming on himself about this Wednesday night dynamite. It's like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
nobody is watching wrestling. Everyone's watching sports right now. I don't know why these wrestling fans. Oh my god! Like, come on, you had your little WrestleMania bullshit. Now it's time for the real playoffs, the real hockey, basketball, two best sports. But anyways,
Well,
Paul
keep in
Three, get
mind
your ass in here, brother. Talk
well
about some
keep in
wrestling. Talk about some.
keep
Yeah.
in mind everybody out there has their preferred sport, whether it's wrestling, MMA, hockey, football. Each sport out there does have its audience. Now, whether it's official sport or more like sports entertainment, as Vinny Wack used to call it at times, wrestling is considered a sport because it does involve physical alter it involves physical
Yeah, bro, come
combat.
on.
The only difference is in
I have
MMA, the
wrestling
fighting is
fatigue right
real.
now.
Yeah.
I have autism and wrestling fatigue right now. I'm sick of it, both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we'll probably have to save that for some time if we ever do a WrestleManiacs. If we have to go back to a part two of how to make wrestling great again, I guess. I think me and Argnoya
Well,
talked
we gotta
about
make
this.
it. We gotta make it great. We gotta take AEW off the damn market and have one main company, which is WWE. And obviously, they can still have NXT, but like AEW is wasting people's time. It pisses me off. Paul Three is much better than that. He knows WWE is a better product. But listen, we have a lot of music news, guys. And
Hmm.
honestly, Dr. Brown, one of the big stories, and I don't want to say it came out of nowhere because like they did announce the farewell tour,
Hmm.
but it looks like only Kelly Hansen will be stepping down, a foreigner, because they're gonna bring in this Maldonado guy who's really not that bad. I heard him more than once on videos, and he's kind of like that clone of Lou Graham's voice. Like you can definitely hit the high notes and stuff. I mean, it's not like like I would say Kelly Hansen like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 10
Yes.
times voice, but but now it's like it's not bad, but it's like not exactly like Lou Graham's voice in those studio songs.
Hmm.
But this Maldonado guy, he look, it's not that bad. And honestly, I have an offer to go see Foreigner uh
Hmm.
coming up, and I might take go and pretty close too, not no bullshit, you know, uh nosebleeds, but look, it is 1,000% like a tribute to. It's a whole different. I want to get into this because like people talking about it forever, and I guess it is like no original members in that band in
I
the
know it's the
touring
truth,
group.
and it's a disgrace.
But well, it is a disgrace, but Dr. Brown, we know Foreigner wasn't really like that band back in the day where they were, necessarily they were like known for their looks or known for, you know what I mean? It wasn't that type of
You
deal
know,
there,
there wasn't like
and
that. It was just straight up rock and roll. Like we had two prime members of the group, Lou Graham on the vocals, Mick Jones on guitars and keyboards, Dennis Elliott on the drums, and Rick Willis on the bass. Talking about the four-piece Foreigner lineup after Foreigner 4 came out back in 1981. That's when they reached massive success with that whole album, and they remained they remained a four piece up until about somewhere, I guess, in the 1990s. But it's the fact that the Foreigner that existing now is just, as I mentioned, it's a disgrace. It's not the Foreigner that we know and love very
oh, come on.
dearly. It's a come on, it's a ripoff. And I want to know who is allowing the name Foreigner to be used by these guys who we don't even know the names of. The only ones we remember from Mick Jones's version of Foreigner was drummer Jason Bonham. He was
Well,
involved with them for a while.
Like Mick Jones, basically. I mean, bro, like say what you want, but this is like one band that can honestly play forever. Say what you want about original members, but look, like they're thinking smart, man. We're not gonna have the Metallicas, the Green Days, the Linkin Park, all these bands that I've seen. I'm gonna have this another 20 years, man. I mean, maybe your Green Days and stuff. Maybe your '90s stuff will be like your oldies in another 20 years, right? You know what I mean? But like, bro, the time is now to go
Mhm.
see concerts.
Or see the legends, as they put it.
Bro, I guess Foreigner just has this huge goddamn following because they play the pavilions, Brown. They don't play like these little dinky sideshow bullshits. They're headlining the outdoor amphitheaters, bro. thirty
Mhm.
thousand people. So
Sure,
and casinos. Go ahead, man.
yeah, because Foreigner are known for those big hits from back in the day, whether it's Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like Woman in Black, Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice, At War with the World, The Damage Is Done, Double Vision, Dirty White Boy, Head Games, all those songs. I mean, those songs are timeless. When you think about it, you could hear them on every classic rock station to this very day. But unfortunately, as we all know, I realize, yeah, some of these bands, but it's not. It should be called Foreigner 2.0, not Foreigner altogether. And the question I want to know is, who is allowing the name Foreigner to be used by these particular guys? Who owns the name altogether? Mick Jones? Did he allow Kelly Hansen to use the name while Jones sits at home and reeks for the profits? And another question I want to know is, how was
That's stuff,
philosoph?
man.
Oh,
Like I'm right there with you.
go
God,
ahead.
we're just going way in and out on the show, man. I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah, there's Wires checking himself right now at the point there. Okay. Wire's got to check his connection there, obviously. I'm doing pretty good on my end. You know, maybe sometime we should probably try Teams sometime. I know Famas Network are using Teams at the moment. So, going back to Foreigner and Pantera and the names being used, my question is, did did Phil Asamo and Rex Brown get permission from the Abbott estate to use the name Pantera? Because as we know, the name Pantera, the band Pantera as well, was started by both Dimebag and Vincent Abbott. And I'm thinking maybe some sort of a state or a management owns the name and such. And I'm thinking they had to get permission as well as pay a fee to that management to use the name. For example, let me give you a good example. Bev Bevan, who was the drummer for ELO and for a while Black Sabbath. Bev Bevan paid Jeff Lynne.
So yes, Dr. Brown, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes,
Testing.
I can hear you right now,
All
man.
right, so all of those people, Dimebag's girlfriend, all of those, Grady, like Dimebag's, like, all you know, those people that used to, you know, they're real tight, like the Techs and all that, Pantera. So like,
Yes.
yes, the Pantera name was given permission. I mean, that did come out when all this came out too, but
Mhm.
all of those people getting paid, Dr. Brown. I mean, we're
Yep, they
talking
are.
millions of dollars. We're talking they started doing this new thing, this Pantera 2.0, like
Mhm.
2022, maybe 2023.
Yes.
Because I know, like, because I saw him open from Metallica,
Yes.
and then I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna see him. They're doing a standalone shows, like they're doing headlining shows. So I'm gonna see them this year.
Yeah, good. I would like
And
to check them out myself. No doubt about that. In fact,
now,
what if
come on, you'll never have time to get off work, bro.
well,
You'll
I
never
can
get
make
off work, man.
I can make arrangements now because in the past there
No.
was a lot of conflict. But in speaking of which, when I first saw the first Pantera celebration tour right after we moved here in Florida, to be exact. We was setting up my room. I noticed there was a concert in Mexico featuring the new Pantera that's out there. I listened to it. It's pretty damn good.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like so the foreigner thing.
Hmm.
See, like Lou Graham, he's getting a piece off it. He's doing like 2 or 3 songs at the end of like a lot of these shows. Like they're going, like even Pantera. I mean, like they went all over Europe. All these I mean, they hit Canada, South America. I mean, that's what kind of recently for stuff, but like just that alone, not touring the stage, just that international money. I mean, I mean, you think of Mick Jones, you know, he has health issues
That's true.
that we know of and everything. And Lou Graham, he's older. All these guys are in their like mid late 70s and stuff. But
Hmm.
you got to think even that, like, you know, you own like Mick Jones owns Foreigner the name, and you're leasing out that name to guys, call it tribute or whatever. It's the same thing, that's no different than what Leonard Skinner's is. You know, they had Gary Rosington, but like he passed. Um, why they don't know have Artemis Pyle in the band, I don't know. But like, you know, Leonard Skinner's been doing this for years, bro. Okay.
Yes.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of other bands with like one original, but like if we're talking bands that don't have any original members, you know, it's the type of thing where you like, it's different, guys. It's hard to explain if you've never been to a concert, if you never had a couple drinks, whatever, you know, had a good time, like go to a like it's way different than just listen to it on the radio. Like, you know, yeah, something, you know, it might be technical, like, oh, this isn't the technically, but if you want to hear something live and like basically presented in front of you live, like recreated, like a special song that's been in your life for years, or a special album, like a group of songs that's been in your, the soundtrack of your life, like just whatever. It's really music. It like, people like new stuff, but like people like the old stuff. People like to go back in time a little bit and relive their life, man, in those times, or maybe pretend to relive a life in those times or whatever, but of a better time, a peaceful time, a simpler time, music. Because now music's just, it's not really that great, but Dr.
It's all
Brown.
AI and
Have you seen that?
computerized.
Have you seen that Dr. Brown soda? By the way.
I did. I think you did mention it to me as well. I think you sent a photo of that at one time. I guess how many long while back,
Yeah, Dr. Brown root beer, Dr. Brown
or Dr.
cream
Pepper, which
soda.
let me guess, Dr.
No, they
Pepper. You meant to say. I see where you're getting
no,
at
they
there.
do. No, they do have a real soda called Dr. Brown's.
I'm checking it right now.
Check it out, Dr. It's like Dr. Brown's original cream soda, Dr. Brown like root beer. I think they have like a black cherry soda, black
I
cherry
see it.
cola.
I see it right now. I
It's
did not
real.
know
All right,
about
can you
this
put it on the
until now.
screen?
Well, let me
It's
see
a
if
little
I could.
expensive. It's like a premium soda. It's not like, like a 7 Up brand
Here
or
it is,
whatever, but
folks. Check it out. You may not be able to
let's
see it
see.
that much, but it's let me see if I can focus pretty much here. Give me a couple of seconds. I thought it was a little bit of a joke myself, but there it is. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Which is oddball. Actually, I remember you showed me another Dr. Brown something. I think it may have been an actual doctor or a lawn service or something like that. I'm not too sure what it
Yeah.
was. So I guess this
Yo, so
Dr. Brown
like,
thing's been going around all over the place without me knowing about it.
what Dr. Brown are you gonna get your foreigner on and see any of these shows? Because
I'm not seeing Foreigner. I'm sorry because, like I said, I would rather have Lou Graham, Mick Jones, and whichever other guys they're on stage are
bro,
going to be close to me.
that's like saying, oh, I don't want to watch wrestling anymore because they don't have The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kane and The Undertaker on anymore. It's like, bro, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a whole, like, I'm trying to explain. I know you're, I just want to make everyone, I just want to make sure you understand and everyone understands where I'm coming from. Like,
Hmm.
this band Foreigner, and I'm not saying, the world's going to end in whatever amount of years, but just to say the world will keep going for another 2,000 years.
Hmm.
Foreigner, will be around forever, literally.
Yeah.
Like, if they go by this method, and if every band goes by this, I mean, yeah, what's kind of the point of going? If you want to see the original members, you want to see the classic members, I get it, yes, but like, I'm telling you guys, in like 20 or 30 years, when any bands
Hmm.
that are 80s, 70s, 90s, I mean, I'll give the 90s another 20 years.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like for live acts, Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, like perhaps. I mean, but and then like in 20 years, it's going to be like oldies. I'm telling you. Like, so, like I said before, the time is now to see these groups because look, you're going to get to a point like Foreigner and Leonard Skinner, whether it's plane crashes or natural deaths, heart attacks, old age. Like that's, you know, it's a thing. Um, but it's really, honestly, I really think they have a good fan base because they really just announced this farewell thing a year or two ago, year and a half ago, whatever. Big farewell tour, man. And then they start bringing, they bring in um, Maldonado guy, but really it's like Kaylee Hansen's leaving because they're bringing in this Maldonado guy.
Hmm.
They didn't really confirm that they're gonna. I mean, I don't know. It's like Kelly Hansen, like it came out on this voice thing, show, whatever, and Kelly Hansen said, "Hey, this is kind of talking about him or whatever." So like it's obviously it's gonna keep going on because they bring in this new singer and blah blah blah. It's interesting how they did that because they
Mhm.
had like Kelly Hansen sing some parts of the song, and then the Maldonado guy was singing parts of the same song. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's kind
Yes.
of. But
Every
at the end of the day, there's bands that have songs that are so good, people don't give a shit who's playing them. You know, I'm probably gonna like it was a 50-50, but I'm leaning more towards I will go see this Foreigner thing. Um, I don't have to pay, so why not? But you have to know that this is what we're gonna get, man. I mean, this is we have a lot more news, but what is your closing statements on the Foreigner thing, Brown? Do
Well,
you get what
I
I'm
like.
saying though?
Well, I
You
understand where you're
know,
coming from. There may not be another Florida tour after this, but you gotta remember, I was never that much big on Foreigner altogether. There were a couple of songs I did dig back in the day, like Dirty White Boy, Double Vision, Hot Blooded. I remember having the cassette version of Agent Provocateur one time when it came out that year, 1985. I was intrigued by some of the songs on it, like Tooth or Nail, She's Too Tough,
mm,
Two Different Worlds. I remember riding around Roseville, Michigan, listening to that on the late Sunday afternoon just when the sun was about to head down, riding on Kelly Road on my bike at that time. I remember that very well. Then, but if I had, of course, if I had my way, as I would say many times before, it would be nice to see Graham Jones once again. But to be honest, tell everybody out there who still wishes to see this form of Foreigner live for the possibly the last time, good luck to them. Much respect to them. Me, I wasn't all that big on them to begin with, so I'll just let it go at that. But I will say well wishes to the members of Foreigner after this tour is done. And any idea what Kelly Hansen's going to be doing afterwards?
retiring.
He's retiring.
Yeah,
Is he going to retire? Because I figured sometime he may want to start up his old group Hurricane once
Hurricane,
again.
brother.
Yes, I remember seeing him play at the Ritz in Roseville back in around 88, 1988, 89. I think it was 1989, I remember. King's X opened for them. And I think I mentioned this story one time. During Hurricane's set, there was this one guy up in front row, stoned out of his mind, spazzing out.
I have this
Wow.
like crazy stressful fatigue with autistic people right now, Brown. And
This guy wasn't autistic. He was a complete
it
high
wasn't
on.
that no, wasn't the guy with the dreads in King's X, the
No.
black guy was isn't he
Yes.
autistic?
No. I'm not too sure who he is. I know he's gay.
You know what
That's
I'm
a
talking
guy that
about?
yes, I know.
Oh, it's
Doug
one of them,
Pinnick.
gay or all
Yes,
right,
exactly.
yeah.
He's the one. No. Me and I was sitting in a seat next to the bass player and the guy from King's X, Doug Pinnick, I think his name is. We
Yeah.
looked at each other. We looked at this guy like, oh man, what a imbecile. And of course, the guy eventually got carried off by security because he was trying to be a distraction towards the other people that were standing next to him. It's like, geez, you can't enjoy good live rock and roll without being stoned out of your fucking mind for fucking crying out loud. Jeez, bro. Jeez,
You gotta
man.
watch the language, please.
Yeah.
Watch the language, man, please.
Yeah. By the way, also, I understand it was also mentioning about a possible remix of Black Sabbath's Born Again that's going to be done finally.
Yeah, look that up because Ian Gillan was talking about it. It's on the it's in the news bits.
Blabbermouth. Okay. Okay. Let me look it up right
And we got to
now.
dive into this. Can you put in the title? I don't know if you can do it now, but after the show, like
Hmm.
the biggest new, we'll get into it, but like the Who, the Who parts ways.
With
Like
their drummer
we'll
again.
put, yeah, like the Who. Um,
Yeah, Zach Starkey got fired from The Who this time for good, ladies and gentlemen. I guess they already got a new drummer for their farewell tour that's going to be called coming up pretty shortly. And I guess Foo Fighters also departed with their drummer, Josh Freese, I guess his last name is. And I guess a new drummer that's going to be filling in for the Foo Fighters is Taylor Hawkins' son. So I guess Dave Grohl figured, hey, son plays just
was
like
that
dad. Let's
confirmed?
get him in. Yeah, I believe so.
Is that?
Yes,
Let
I
me look
believe
it up.
so. Yes. In the meantime, let's get into this remix of Black Sabbath's "Born Again" album. Now, I said many times before with UYR and everybody else, this album, which came out in 1983, was still remains one of my favorites from the Sabs. It was loud, aggressive, rude, monstrous, in your face, heavy metal. And now, but there was an issue with the mix of the album. According to Ian Gillan and Tony Iommi, they did not like the way the album sound. Gillan expressed his displeasure with the way the sound came out on that record. And there's been talk for the past couple of months that maybe by chance they're going to find the master tapes for Born Again and remix the whole album all together. And the tapes were found many months back. And according to this article, courtesy of blabbermouth.net, Ian Gillan said, thank God they're going to remix Black Sabbath's Born Again album. In a new interview, Ian Gillan, the frontman of Deep Purple, spoke about Tony Iommi's plans to remix the Born Again album for future release. It came out in 1983 in August of that year. It was the only Sabbath album recorded with Mr. Gillan, best known for his work with Deep Purple, and was also the last of studio albums for Sabbath to feature their original drummer Bill Ward. Gillan told Rolling Stone Brazil, quote, I think the songs on Born Again are great. I just thought it was ridiculous. The mix was outrageous. All you could hear, if you ever saw the movie, this is Spinal Tap,
Yeah, that was
then
real. That's. Oh, my bad.
Mhm. If you ever saw the movie This is Spinal Tap, then that's the story of Born Again. The bass level was too high. They couldn't play it on the radio, so they're going to remix it. It's a bit late, but yeah, probably for reasons or collectors or whatever. I don't know, but there are some songs on there that I really think are great. It is always a joy to write with Tony, Ian also concluded, and we certainly had some fun making the record. It was recorded at the manor located in their home country of England. It was quite a fantastic time, and I enjoyed the tour that soon followed. It was the longest party I've ever been to. It lasted 1 year. Now, Gillen continues saying, I think the album is actually great. I always thought we always recognize that the fact that Ozzy's the singer with Black Sabbath and people identify with that. So it was kind of a weird hybrid kind of situation. But all in all, thank God they're going to finally remix it. Now, back in May of last year, Iommi told Eddie Trunk about why it's taken so long for the fans out there to hear a new version of Born Again. Iommi said, quote, well, eventually we got the tapes, but we couldn't find them for years. We did not know where they were. And my manager located somebody, and they were in the record companies in their archives, tucked away somewhere in one of their record companies' vaults. I do not know how they got them, but they did. So eventually we got them, and we've had or having them transferred because obviously it's on tape. So we're going to have them transferred so we can have a look at that. And that's sort of plan of a plan as well. I like to do that. I know Ian would like to that to happen just as well as Geezer Butler. Now, Born Again fans have been rediscovering that album for the past 4 decades since it first came out. I always said, yeah, it's funny. That does happen. And it's the same as Tony Martin's when he was with Black Sabbath, the 5 albums that he did with them. People didn't know of it at that time, and then word of mouth gets around and the internet, then they get interested, and eventually they go, oh yeah, this album is good. Wouldn't you know? And that's what happened with Born Again a bit. It gained a cult status throughout the years since it came out. Later on, a new generation comes in, and then people get to hear. The original fans will hear it and go, oh, yeah, I forgot about that record. It is funny how it all works, but it's great. It's great that it does. And that's why we like to present that once again. Have a look at that and see what we could do with it. Because I know we were not happy with the original sound, but a lot of people accepted that sound, me being one of them, most definitely. At the time, I was like, oh my God, because we went on tour, left it to somebody else, then we heard it, we nearly had a fit. It was on top, number one. I think it was on number four on the chart in England at the time. And we tried to stop it, but it was too late by the time we heard it, and it sounded really muffly. It was nothing like we when we left before we went on tour. So it would be nice to get it so we could get a better sound on it. There are really great songs on that album. There really are. Most agree. I would love to hear this new version just as well. What's kind of funny is that, I remember Ian Gillan was also not pleased with the original album cover of that record as well. Now, for the album cover, they took some a photo of a newborn baby crying its eyes out after being born, and they also added made the baby red with some claws, demonic eyes, and horns on it, beside a blue background. And apparently, that cover was meant to be rejected, but Tony Iommi approved of it. But Gillan, uh-uh. He stated in an interview when he saw the cover of that album, he puked. Then he heard the mix of the album, then he also puked again. So finally, we're going to get a new version of Born Again sometime soon, ladies and gentlemen, probably before the end of this year. And what's going on, YR? Is there TV on in the background there, dude? Mm. YR? You there, bud? Something's going on over there. So let me see what's going on here. Hmm. YR, you dead, buddy? YR. Hmm. What's going on, dude? What the hell, man? All right, there. Um, Let me go to this thing here. Got a couple of minutes here. Now, let me find a little something here. There's a lot of links in the chat here of Music Maniacs here in Discord. A lot of YouTube links as well. Rockville. We got to definitely dig into that. There are a lot of bands that played that festival over the weekend. A couple of them who I know who go to the castle, who I'm friends with on Facebook as well. And Wire just left the call. I guess he's got to join in once again. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. I'm thinking maybe at this point we should probably switch to MS Teams, as I call it, because apparently, Discord's given some issues. In fact, when I go up to the live streaming page, YR's voice cuts out for some dumb reason. Let's see, how's it looking right now? Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get back to the thing here. Let's see. You know what? A lot of it here. Oh yeah, the Def Leppard story, Hysteria, that aired on VH1. Oh yeah, it goes back to the stuff that we mentioned. Let's see here, music news. Show. Okay, okay. Here I got here an official statement from Ace Frehley. He's supposed to perform this weekend, this Friday, May 23rd, tomorrow evening, at a thing called Bradfest in Madison, Wisconsin. And he was also performed at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois, the following Saturday night. Unfortunately, he won't be able to make it. Let me read the statement from the spaceman himself. Hello, everyone. I wanted to let you all know that I sadly will not be able to perform this weekend on Friday, May 23rd at Bradfest in Madison, Wisconsin, or Saturday, May 24th at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois. Although not serious, I am ill and don't feel that I am capable of the rigorous travel and performing up to my usual standards this weekend. I extend my deepest regrets and most sincere apologies for having to cancel. I thank all of you for your understanding in the matter. All love to my fans, Ace Frehley. So we want to take the time to wish the best for Ace Frehley. Hope he recovers from whichever is ill in him at the moment. Okay. And let's see here. The other items come about. I gotta mention this. I know we spoke about it a couple of times. To be honest with you, Iron Maiden. They're going to be going on tour pretty soon for their Run to the Hills tour, featuring their new drummer. And according to blabbermouth.net, Iron Maiden are asking their longtime fans to severely limit use of their cell phones, their phone cameras on their upcoming Run for Your Lives tour. British heavy metal legends Iron Maiden will start their Run for Your Lives World Tour May 27th in Budapest, followed by a 31 further stadium, festival, and arena shows around Europe, with over 1 million tickets sold, and most shows sold out. Of course, obviously, it's Iron Maiden. What do you expect? Fans are advised that additional tickets will be made available closer to the show and on the day, with the release of venue and production holds. The Run for Your Lives World Tour marks 50 years since bassist Steve Harris formed Maiden in late 1975, and to celebrate this, fans are promised a very special set list spanning the 9 studio albums from the first self-titled album back in 1980 to 1992's Fear of the Dark, with the band's most spectacular and elaborate show ever. In keeping with that time period, Maiden is keen for everyone in the audience to experience this spectacular show as they would have when many of these songs were first played live back in the 1980s. And in common with many other artists, the band are now asking their fans not to excessively film the concerts on their phones or tablets. Rod Smallwood, who is the manager, longtime manager for the Mighty Maiden, said, quote, "We really want fans to enjoy the shows firsthand rather than be on their small screens. The amount of phone use nowadays diminishes enjoyment, diminishes, let me get started again, my bad, diminishes enjoyment, particularly for the band who are on stage looking out at rows of phones, but for also concert goers. We feel that the passion and involvement of our fans at shows really makes them special. But the phone obsession has now gotten so out of hand, it has become unnecessary distracting, especially to the band. I hope fans understand this and will be sensible in severely limiting the use of their phone cameras out of respect for the band and their fellow fans. Now, I only posted one video of them performing The Trooper and another song, actually two videos, I should say, The Trooper and another track when I first saw them back in 2019 when they played the City Woods Pavilion back when I was still in Texas. And I think that's probably be the only time you should probably use your cell phones instead of recording the whole concert. I think another issue is the fact that possibly the bootlegging situation may occur once again, even though there's so many bootleg footage of bands and artists out there here on YouTube. But that concern is still out there. Let me go on to read more of this article. Smallwood adds, quote, "We would very much like you to be in the moment instead of be fully active, involved, to enjoy each and every one of these classic songs in the spirit and manner they were first played. This show isn't just a celebration of our music. It is, as you will see, about our years of art, of Maiden's mascot Eddie, and many worlds that of Maiden we have created for you. So please respect the band and respect the other fans and have the time of your lives as you join your Maiden family by singing your heart out rather than getting your phone out. It's really not a lot to ask, is it? Now, the Run for Your Lives World Tour is one part of Iron Maiden's 50th anniversary celebrations and will feature many fan meet-up events in the cities the band is playing, as was debuted successfully in Australia on the last tour. These will include Eddie official pop-up dive bars, excuse me, official pop-up dive bar, which will be open for pre-show and post-show gatherings in 20 cities on the tour. They will be serving Trooper beer, which I had a taste of when they made and played in Texas, which, by the way, I do recommend, ladies and gentlemen, and also a new wine called Darkest Red, with food, exclusive merchandise, and further entertainment. Details are available on ironmaiden.com, but please note the band will not be at these events. Well, of course, obviously. And additionally, there is a feature-length documentary film coming to cinemas worldwide later this year, courtesy of Universal Pictures Content Group, an official hardback book providing a magnificent visual celebration of 50 years of Iron Maiden is being published by Thames and Hudson. More details on both of these releases will be announced soon. Words from Iron Maiden management, Rod Smallwood, about the upcoming Iron Maiden tour coming up, which is supposed to kick off towards the end of this month. Now, I don't know what happened with YR. He dropped out of the call for some reason. I don't know why that is. And let's see if I can add anybody to the show here for the time being until YR gets his stuff ready again. Let's see if I can add some people here. Give me a couple of minutes. Let's do this. I'm going to try and add somebody I haven't heard from a long while. Bullfrog. I know he's been active in Discord as of late. Let me see if I can get him on the call for a short while. Give me a couple seconds, folks. See what goes on. In the meantime, I'm going to try Teams for a second here. Let's see if I can call somebody who's installed an update, blah blah blah. Let's see here. Let me do this. Search unknown user. This is fault. Sorry, this chat doesn't exist anymore. What? Let me see if I can get a hold of Prince Idol. The ringtone sounds somewhere. The ringtone sounds similar to Skype's old ringtone, and it says here, sadly, we could not connect to Prince Idol. I don't know what happened with YR. He disappeared. I don't know what happened here. Paul 3 is unable to make it, unfortunately. I don't know what happened with him. I know Dave Rose is busy at the moment. So I'm thinking maybe this be an opportunity to end the show. We pretty much got the news that's trending out there for the public to hear. Now, before I go, allow me to say once again, as I always do towards the end of our show, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and notification bell. And I've been thinking about doing this. You may recall the Saturday night dub set that I premiered last Saturday night. Well, I recorded a new version of that set. I'm thinking about removing the old set and uploading this new version. But knowing how many viewers have been watching it, I'm thinking maybe I just leave it as is. However, I'm also part of a music group on Facebook, and I'll upload that set onto there later on after I'm done with this program. So I guess this concludes our episode of Music Maniacs. For YR, who mysteriously disappeared, and myself, we thank you all for watching. Everybody enjoy your remainder of your